My name is Gutnik. I am the Marketing and Business Development Manager at BroadSign, and BroadSign provides digital signage software for the digital signage industry. It's a cloud-based solution. We also have a line of smart media players and a programmatic buying platform called BroadSign Connect. This year at DSE, there's a lot going on. One of the founding components of our platform is that we have an automated approach to digital signage. So that's different than the other software providers on the floor because they manage content using a playlist model. And for us, we use rules and we attach them to the ad copy and the content, and the player sorts it out by itself. So it's a smart player and automatically decides where the content should be playing. So this allows us to scale, and some of our customers have, tens of thousands of screens. So that's really what our solution has to offer at a fundamental level. But 2 years ago, we decided to bring a media player to the market for the first time. It's called BroadSign Express, and we chose DSE to make that announcement. BroadSign Express is an Android-based solution. And we're hardware agnostic, but our customers had been asking for a device that was BroadSign tested and approved. And we were also looking at the price points of media players, and we thought we could do something that would make a little bit more economical sense for our customers. So that one came out at $99 a player. This year, 2 years later, we've had some time to work with our customers, and we realized that Express is really great for more simple deployments, but some of our customers required some more robust features in a media player, and we came to the market with BroadSign Express Pro. So this announcement was made on Monday, and our booth has been abuzz because it's DSE and everybody gets really excited about new product announcements here, and we're looking forward to just taking day 2 to explain and share this with all the attendees at our booth. I would say that education is really driving our industry at this point in time. At the show right now, and I've been speaking to people at the booth from day one, asking about the questions that attendees are asking. And compared to shows where digital signage is a component of the show floor, where people will come up to our booth and ask, what is digital signage and what does BroadSign do in the space? We have attendees coming up to us and asking much more technical questions where we're looking for product specialists to be able to help them solve the problems. And so I think that has a lot to do with Digital Signage Expo itself. Been around for a significant period of time, and people are now aware of what digital signage is. And they have deployed networks, and maybe in the beginning, a handful of years ago, digital signage appeared to be more of a mystery to them. And because of that, they would adopt platforms that might not have been right fit for the network goals that they have. But they've experienced the pain, perhaps, and now we have a lot more sophistication among attendees of the show. And they're going around and they're being a bit more demanding of the vendors here and asking the tough questions that are making everybody improve themselves and come here year after year with more sophisticated solutions. So I really think that's driving our space. And the Digital Signage Federation, when I talk about education, is very much so behind that because they're boosting that as well. On the flip side, advertising is another component that is bringing money into our space and allowing us to really push the boundaries of what we can do with digital signage. The DPAA has been really great too in what Expo Nation and DSE have done for the industry, going to agencies and saying this is what digital signage is and this is what you can do with it. And the ad revenue that we're seeing because of that is also expanding our space and bringing in different components such as mobile. It's going to allow us to tap into different ad buckets. So not only will digital signage have revenue coming from a portion of the out-of-home bucket, but we can go into different revenue sources and bring more money into our industry that way. I have seen agencies walking around the floor and asking questions about how digital signage can fit into their overall campaigns. And that's a great thing to see, is that we're no longer an add-in at the end when there's some extra revenue. It's a fundamental part of the campaign. When I talk about the fact that attendees in the space are becoming more educated, that actually becomes a challenge as well, because network operators, as well as end users, as well as viewers of digital screens, are going to become much more demanding about product quality and support. So it's a really good challenge to have right now because it's just making all of these suppliers better contributors to our space. One thing that I think people will be much more demanding of moving forward is, proof of performance. So this ties in once again with the advertisers. They want to make sure that impressions are accurate so that they can represent the space appropriately. And I think that a lot of people are responding to that. So we have some very advanced reporting systems coming out. BroadSign, I know this is a bit biased, but BroadSign does have an advanced proof of performance report that we use. And some agencies, before some of this education started to surface, weren't aware that we had this to offer. So going back to the associations in our industry, the DSF, the DPAA, we can address these challenges by all working together to make sure that people outside of our space now are educated about what we have to offer, be it standards or reporting systems or automated audience measurement. So the future is bright for digital signage. As I've been mentioning, people are much more educated about what they want from suppliers. Advertisers know what they want, so from that perspective we're growing, and BroadSign has a global footprint. So when we take a look at our global business, we can be very excited about the future. You take a look at companies like JCDecaux. Now, I'm not going to say that screens are going to multiply very rapidly in number. We do see them popping up a lot more than beforehand, and people might not call it digital signage, but certainly either children who are looking at them or celebrities tweeting themselves and, the big screens in Times Square, or my grandfather will send me photos of digital signs. People know what they are. And so going back to the numbers, what's going to happen, and we're seeing this happen, is new screens are going up, old screens are coming down, because people are becoming a lot more strategic in where screens are being placed. And it's all about, and this is so cliche by this time, but catching people at the right time in the right space to deliver the right message. So there was a project that happened in an airport, for example, where there was already displays in place, and they were taken down and replaced with new ones, fewer, but in more strategic locations, to increase impressions, to improve advertising effectiveness, and to really, touch people with this messaging. So I really think that that is where we see the industry going. I don't want to talk about it in terms of percent growth or, number of displays. If we're measuring it like that, I think we're doing something wrong. I think instead we should be measuring by the number of, or the amount of ad dollars that are coming into our space, and, any dollars, I guess, at that point, because of the increased effectiveness of campaigns. So I see it starting to happen, and that's something that we can all be very excited about. As I mentioned, DSE, BroadSign, has been participating since its inception, and for a couple of reasons. So in the beginning, it was really important to have a show that could solidify an industry that was, in its infant stages. And DSE has, I would say, succeeded in this task. People know what DSE is. It's kind of a ritual now. People from across the world gather here. And compared to more sizable shows, for example, that have digital signage components, DSE might be seen as, to have small numbers. But in that number, you have a huge amount of very qualified leads coming to our booth. So BroadSign, we like to bring in our international sales team, and we have a lot of meetings and events throughout the show. So it's a place to find new customers, but also to re-engage with existing customers, to network with friends in our space, and to really take a look and see how everybody has been advancing over the years. And tying back into everything that I've kind of set up to this point, people are becoming a lot more educated and aware of our space because of it. So now, the education component, we have an industry, and I think the show is only going to continue to grow. And BroadSign is very happy to be the conference sponsor. The content and in these educational sessions that are delivered is very advanced. Yesterday I moderated a session about advanced displays, which is not the most sexy of subjects, but the room was packed, and people really were curious as to what displays they should be using for their networks. And to see that kind of turnout for a session that is, a level above really goes to show what is offered by DSE. So BroadSign's excited to be behind something that's really pushing the envelope with that kind of content. The digital signage industry has arrived.